Bong Toi Trong Dem warmly greets all our beloved listeners. Tonight, we meet again in the familiar hour of chilling and mysterious stories. Bong Toi Trong Dem will bring you a brand new ghost story, haunting and spine-tingling. After listening, please leave a comment sharing the detail that made you shiver the most. We wish you moments filled with suspense, goosebumps, and a captivating thrill until the very end. The evening in Cam Tui grew cold as the wind swept in from the lake. Stinging the skin, the vast body of water lay still as glass. Only now and then a ripple rose and faded. The townsfolk often said, when the lake is too quiet, it becomes even scarier, for it hides stories no one dares to speak of. Inside a shabby boarding house near the water's edge, Min lay sprawled on a creaky bamboo bed. He was just over 30. Gaunt from months of scraping by. Mildew spread across the walls. The wooden panels groaned with every gust. And the damp, fishy smell from the lake seeped in, chilling the room. Suddenly, pounding knocks echoed against the door. "Open up, Min, we know you're in there." Startled, Min jumped up, face drained of color. He recognized the voice. Hung the Fat, the ruthless loan shark of the region. The door swung open. A bulky figure barged in, followed by two thugs. The stench of sweat and cigarette smoke filled the air. 3 days. Min, are you trying to hide? 100 million isn't small change. Will you pay or not? Min trembled, clutching his pants. I haven't managed yet. Please, give me a few more days. I promise I'll pay. Hung's eyes narrowed. He grabbed Min by the collar, dragging him close. A few more days? You've been promising for a year. I don't like talking twice. If in 3 days the money isn't here, don't blame us for cutting off your hands and legs. A punch, heavy as a hammer, slammed into Min's stomach. He collapsed, gasping for breath, drenched in sweat. The 3 men left, their cruel laughter echoing, their warning chilling. Remember this. 3 days. Or go join the ghosts in the lake. The door creaked shut, leaving only the whistling wind through the shutters. Clutching his stomach, Min's vision blurred. In his mind, images of Lan, his ex-wife, and their little son flickered. Once, they had lived happily in a small house by the lake. Lan, gentle and always smiling, and their boy, always chattering. If not for Min's gambling on soccer, their family might still have been whole. But now, everything was only a memory. Whispering to himself, Min muttered, "Lan, Nam, I'm sorry, I was wrong." His voice broke, fading into the sound of water lapping the shore. That night, Min wandered to the lakeside. The pale moonlight spilled across the unmoving surface. Ripples rose faintly, like someone sighing beneath. In the distance, oil lamps flickered from fishermen's boats, glowing weakly in the night. Then came a soft voice behind him. "Min, is that you?" He turned around. It was Tung, his childhood friend. Still the same rustic look, his hands sticky with tree resin from finishing a boat. "What are you doing wandering around at this hour? You look pale. What happened?" I'm in deep trouble. Tung, Hung the Fat and his men will kill me if I don't pay up. I need money fast. Please, help me." Tung stared at him in silence for a while. His eyes showed both pity and suspicion. "How much do you owe?" 100 million. I have no one left to borrow from. My wife and child, they're gone." The wind from the lake blew harder, rustling the leaves like incomprehensible whispers. Tung lowered his head, then spoke quietly. "I only have 80 million saved. But, I'll lend it to you. On one condition. You must come with me on a trip." Min lifted his head, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. "What trip?" "Fishing in the forbidden zone of the lake. They say there are plenty of big fish there. If we're lucky, one catch could be enough for both of us." But, his voice grew heavy. "They say that place isn't clean. Too many people have gone missing. Do you dare?" Min clenched his trembling fists. The image of Hung the Fat swinging a knife flashed in his mind. There was no other way. "I'll go, as long as I can escape this hell." The two fell silent. Only the howling wind sweeping across the lake remained. In the distance, there came what sounded like a child's cry, faint and drifting in the night. Min shuddered. "Did you hear that, Tung?" "No, probably just the wind." They exchanged glances. But both knew it wasn't just the wind. Back in his shabby room, Min collapsed onto the bed but couldn't sleep. In the darkness, his eyes stared blankly at the ceiling full of holes. The sound of water from the lake echoed in, steady and rhythmic, like a heartbeat. A whisper drifted into his ear, so faint yet so close. Min, he jolted upright, heart pounding wildly. Looking around, he saw only the empty room, the draft seeping through the cracks. Yet the stench of lake water suddenly thickened, choking him. Who's there? No reply, only a faint, distant laugh. Min trembled uncontrollably, yanking the blanket over his head, muttering like a madman, "It's fine, tomorrow I'll have the money, it'll be fine." But in the suffocating darkness, it seemed a drenched figure was sitting silently in the corner of the room, watching him. The next morning. The sky over Cam Tui was heavy and gray. Thick clouds pressing down as if a storm was about to break. Min sat on the porch of the boarding house, his hands trembling around a cup of cold tea. He hadn't slept a wink all night. In his head still echoed the whispers calling his name, the wet, eerie laughter, and the foul stench of the lake. Footsteps sloshed through the muddy lane outside. A frail figure approached, leaning on a cane. It was old Mrs. Han, a woman in her 60s who survived by gathering firewood and wild greens around the lake. Her hair was silver, her eyes sunken, her voice rasping. Villagers often said she had the gift of the underworld, able to see things others could not. She stopped at his door, eyes fixed sharply on Min. "Last night I saw your house flickering with light. There was a shadow sitting inside. Did you light a lamp?" A chill shot down Min's spine. He stammered, No, I didn't. It was completely dark." Mrs. Han tapped her cane, shaking her head slowly. "Listen to me. Stay away from the forbidden area of the lake." The young men who went there, some vanished. Some floated up days later, eyes bulging white. "I saw it myself once, terrifying." Min forced a weak smile, trying to hide his unease. "Yes, I wouldn't dare." She said no more, only turned and walked away. Her small frame faded behind the trees, the tapping of her cane on the dirt road echoing like a warning. By late afternoon, Min went to Tung's boat workshop. The place sat right by the water's edge, the smell of fresh wood and paint mixing with the cold lake breeze. Tung was hammering planks onto a boat, sweat glistening on his forehead, grip firm on the tool. Min hesitated. "Tung, about last night, are you sure it's safe?" Tung stopped, wiped his brow, and looked at him. "Safe? Fishing always has risks, but if we don't try, we get nothing. I've got the boat, nets, and flashlights ready. Tomorrow night, we go." Min stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Mrs. Han, she said that place has ghosts. The dead float up with their eyes rolled white. Just hearing it gave me chills." Tung snorted, hammering the plank down. "Ghost stories. It's just whirlpools. Weak swimmers drown, and people turn it into tales to scare others. Tomorrow night, stick with me, and don't lose your nerve." A gust of wind rattled the workshop door with a screech. Min glanced out toward the lake. The water looked dark, restless with ripples. He shivered, his heartbeat quickening. That night, Min returned to the boarding house. The sky was pitch black. No moon, no stars. He sat hunched beside a dim oil lamp, staring at the stained, moldy walls. Suddenly, a faint knocking came at the window, slow and deliberate. Knock, knock, knock. Min shot to his feet, his chest tightening. Who's there? No reply, only the sound of the lake slapping against the shore, and the fishy stench creeping into the room. Trembling, he stepped closer and cracked the window open. Outside was nothing but thick darkness. The lake stretched endlessly, faintly glimmering under a sickly light. But right at the edge of the shore, he could see a shadow crouched low. Long, drenched hair hung down, dripping water onto the ground. The figure lifted its face. White, lifeless eyes stared back, the lips moving as if calling something. "Min, it's so cold?" Min screamed, stumbling back, drenched in sweat. He snatched up a blanket, throwing it over his head, his heart hammering. ears still filled with the damp, whispering voice. No, it's not real, it's not real. In the corner of the room, the shadows thickened, gathering into the shape of a figure, silently moving toward his bed. Dash dash dash. Dash dash dash. Asterisk, Min sat huddled asterisk in the damp room, the oil lamp sputtering a sickly red glow. The whispers at the window still haunted him. He strained to listen, but all that remained was the wind's howl and the chirping of crickets in the night. Cold sweat ran down his forehead. He bit his lip and muttered to himself, trembling, "Don't be afraid, I just need the money, then everything will pass." Suddenly the door creaked open. Min jolted up and lunged forward to block it, but it was Tung. He carried a large flashlight, his face smeared with ash and dust. "What's wrong with you? You look like you've seen a ghost." I heard knocking. I saw a shadow by the lake. White eyes. Come on, you're too jumpy. Overthinking gives you hallucinations. We go fishing tomorrow, so keep your head clear. Don't make me regret lending you the money. Min swallowed hard and nodded. Okay, tomorrow I'll go. I promise. The next morning, Cam Tui was busier than usual. The market bustled. The sharp smell of fresh fish filled the alleys, and vendors shouted their wares. But Min felt weighed down inside. He went to Mrs. Han, lingering at her porch. She was shelling rice. Her eyes narrowed as if she'd been expecting him. "Aunt Han, I can't sleep. I keep hearing my name called. Sometimes I even see a drenched figure sitting by the lake. Do you know, is it really a ghost?" She looked up, fixing Min with a deep, hollow stare. "This lake isn't peaceful. Over the years, every time someone drowns unjustly, their spirit stays trapped, especially in the forbidden zone. I advise you, don't be foolish enough to step into a boat there." Min shivered, voice quavering. "But I have no choice. If I don't go, the gang will kill me." Mrs. Han sighed, her voice hoarse. "If you insist on going, don't be greedy. This lake doesn't forgive." Her words cut into Min like a blade. Late afternoon brought strong winds to Cam Tui. Black clouds rolled in and swallowed the moon. The red dirt road to the lake turned to muck after rain. Min trudged along, feet heavy, a small bag of clothes slung over his shoulder. At the lakeshore, Tung and 3 other men were already waiting. They were hired fishermen with big nets, fish knives, and several bright flashlights. The freshly built wooden boat gleamed, smelling sharp of pine resin. Tung waved. "Get on. If we hit a big haul tonight, your life could change." One of the men clicked his tongue. "This forbidden area is creepy. When I was a kid I saw bodies floating with their eyes rolled back. The whole village remembers. Even thinking about it now gives me the chills." Another man snorted. "If you're scared, go home. Those who dare, come with us. Big fish don't jump into nets by themselves." Their arguments echoed into the night, mixing with the slap of waves. Min stood motionless, fingers gripping the gunwale so hard his knuckles ached. The rasping whisper from last night ghosted through his mind. "It's so cold here." A gust stirred the lake, sending small waves to slap the boat's side. Min trembled, but the image of Hung the Fat, the man who threatened to cut his hands off, flashed through his mind. He drew a deep breath and stepped into the boat. "Let's go. If worst comes to worst, we die trying." The boat eased away from shore. Darkness swallowed the group, the only light the wavering beams of flashlights skimming the vast, ink-black water. Lake Cam Tui opened before them, black, bottomless, like a giant mouth waiting to swallow. The boat rocked asterisk as it slipped through the night. 5 men sat silently, only the rhythmic splash of oars breaking the dark. The lake stretched wide and black, the flashlight beams skimmed the surface, turning the waves into thin, glinting ribbons. The air was oppressively still. Crickets sheared faintly in the distance. A cold wind swept across the water. One of the men broke the silence in a dry voice. "This place, years ago some people drowned here. I remember it all too well. That night they hauled the net for hours before they pulled up the body." Eyes rolled back, skin bruised purple. It scared everyone who saw it. Another man snorted and tapped the hull with his knuckles. "That's how drowning looks. What's there to be scared of? You're such a coward. You make me uneasy." Min sat tucked in the middle, eyes fixed on the black water. It seemed bottomless. Now and then something flickered beneath the surface, too fast to make out. He swallowed and murmured under his breath, "It's nothing, just fish." Tongue paddled, glancing at his friend with a steady voice. "Don't worry. If this haul's good, you pay off everything. New chapter. Trust me." A gust of wind hit and the boat lurched. From the distant shore came a long, keening howl of a dog that made them all shiver. "Sounds like a cry," one whispered. No one answered. After more than half an hour, the lake changed, ripples gathered, and the wind began to whirl in circles. The flashlight swept the water, revealing wisps of mist rising from the surface and twisting together like reaching hands. Min hunched his shoulders and asked, trembling, "Are we at the forbidden area yet?" Tongue nodded. "Yeah, here, drop the net." The men began to cast the net in sections. The cords hissed and the weighted leads sank with dull thudding sounds into the black water. In that instant Min saw, through the white mist, the silhouette of someone standing only a few boat lengths away. Thin, head bowed, hair hanging down wet, water dripping in little streams. He gasped and cried out, "Someone's out there. There's a person standing." They all turned, sweeping their flashlights. Only mist, no figure. One of the guys laughed contemptuously. "Who stands in the middle of a lake? You're seeing things." Min was drenched in sweat, his whole body shaking, but he was sure, just now there had been a person standing there. Quietly watching them, they pushed deeper. The water grew darker, the fog thicker, and the feeling of being lost in a place with no escape settled over them. Tongue spoke quietly, voice firm though his eyes showed worry. "Work fast. Once it's set, haul it in and we go home." Min gritted his teeth and helped tie the lines. But an unshakable fear rose inside him. Mrs. Han's warning echoed through his mind, "If you insist on going, don't be greedy. This lake won't forgive." The net had been asterisk in the water for nearly half an hour, and the surface remained still. The men began to haul it back. The rope was taut, heavy, forcing them all to lean with effort. One man panted, "It's heavy. Must be a big haul." They pulled with all their strength. The net slowly broke the surface. But when the flashlight beams hit it, not a single fish was caught. Only slime, weeds, and clumps of mud clung to the mesh. "Damn it, nothing but trash. Looks like this place has already been picked clean." One muttered bitterly. Disappointed, they kept working, though Min still helped drag the net. Suddenly he felt something hard, angular, tangled inside. "Wait, there's something here." All eyes turned. Tongue swept his flashlight over the net. Amid the dripping weeds lay a square wooden box, rotted and caked with mud. No one spoke for several seconds. The air itself seemed to freeze. Finally, one man rasped, "Probably something someone dropped. Toss it back. It'll only cause trouble." Min's trembling hands brushed away the muck. The box was strangely heavy. He pried the lid open. A golden glow flashed in the darkness. Inside lay a pile of ancient coins, gleaming and clinking against each other as they shifted. The boat fell silent. Every man stared, wide-eyed, at the unexpected treasure. Tongue swallowed hard and whispered, "Dear God, it's real gold." Another man lunged forward, reaching to grab a coin. But Min clutched the box tight, snapping, "Stop, I'll hold it. We'll settle later." His eyes blazed, so different from the fearful look earlier. His terror was gone. Only a feverish greed remained. The man scowled, ready to argue. Tongue cut him off sharply. "Quiet, we'll divide it onshore. If we fight here, the boat flips, and we all lose everything." The others fell silent, but tension thickened the air. Each one was already calculating. The wind over the lake suddenly rose. The fog thickened. Beneath the hull, bubbles surfaced and fizzed, as if something was stirring below. Min clung to the box, chest pounding with excitement. In the dim flashlight glow, he could swear pale figures stood hidden in the mist, eyes rolled wide, staring straight at the box in his arms. He shuddered and held it even tighter. The wooden box asterisk sat heavy on the side of the boat. Golden light spilling from within. illuminating every tense face. Their breaths came fast, eyes locked on the gleaming treasure. One fisherman's voice trembled. "Let's split it now, there's enough gold here for all 5 of us." Min clutched it tighter, eyes bloodshot. "No, we settle it ashore. Argue out here and we'll all die." Tung steadied the oar, frowning at his friend. "Enough of that. This gold was hauled up by all of us. Don't think you can keep it to yourself." Min's jaw clenched, arms locking the box to his chest, eyes darting like a cornered animal. He growled, "I'll keep it. I'll pay my debts. No one touches it." The air on the boat grew thick, heavy with suspicion. Only the slap of waves and the whistle of wind through the fog filled the silence. Suddenly, the boat lurched violently. Lake water surged over the edge, icy cold. A scream tore across the night. "God help me! Save me!" Tung's foot slipped, and he toppled into the water. Foam erupted, his body thrashing in the black depths. "Min, pull me up! Hurry!" Min froze. The box weighed heavy in his arms. His friend's outstretched hand reached toward him, just a few feet away. For an instant, Min wanted to drop the box and save him, but the clinking of coins drowned out the cries. Shaking, gasping, he staggered back, clutching the box tighter. "No, I can't lose it." Tung's voice rose, ragged and desperate, echoing across the lake. "Min, save me. It's so cold, save me." His cries weakened, then vanished beneath the water. The lake stilled again, only ripples spreading under the flashlight's glare. On the boat, the 4 remaining men sat stunned, speechless. One made to leap after him, but it was far too late. Min collapsed onto the planks, trembling, the box locked in his arms. His friend's screams still echoed in his head, crushing his chest like a vice. Yet his eyes remained glued to the glow of gold. Through the mist, he glimpsed a pale face rising from the water, hair dripping, eyes wide and unblinking, fixed on him. He blinked hard, and it was gone, leaving only rippling waves. They rowed back in silence, none daring to meet each other's gaze. Min kept his head bowed, fingers gripping the box so tight his knuckles split and bled. Across the vast lake, the wind wailed long and low, like a lament from the dead. Dash dash dash. Dash dash dash. The next morning, the town of Cam Tui bustled peacefully as always. The market buzzed with chatter. Roosters crowed, children laughed and played, but inside Min, everything was in turmoil. He sat hunched in his rented room, the wooden box set squarely on the table. Golden light glimmered out, dazzling and haunting at once. He whispered to himself, "I've got money now, debts paid, a new start. I'll start over." A sudden pounding on the door jolted him. It was Hung, the fat, with 2 henchmen at his side. The thug blocked the doorway, face grim. "3 days are up, where's the money?" Min trembled, but opened a bag and laid a thick stack of bills on the mat. "Here, 80 million, I'll send the rest later." Hung glanced over it, counting quickly, then narrowed his eyes. "Where'd you scrape this up so fast? Don't you dare lie to me." Min forced a smile, sweat beading at his temples. I sold some land back home. Took the money to clear my debt. That's it, I'm done. No more gambling." Hung stared at him for a long moment, then waved dismissively. "Fine, I'll let it slide, but mark my words, if I hear you've gone back to betting, you're finished." The door slammed shut. Min collapsed, heart hammering. He hugged the box of gold to his chest, inhaled deeply, and tried to steady himself. Time passed. With the gold he sold, Min bought a house and opened a construction supply store. People now looked at him differently. Old friends who once despised him now fawned over him. At a drinking party, one laughed and said, "Min's not the same anymore. Rich, successful, forgotten those dead-ridden days." Huh? Min laughed too, raising his glass, but deep in his eyes, a shadow flickered. At night, lying on his brand-new bed, sleep never came. Instead, the desperate cries echoed in his mind. "Min, save me, I'm freezing." He jolted upright, shirt drenched in sweat. Glancing around, he saw nothing, only the steady drip of water from the bathroom corner, even though he was sure he had shut the faucet tight. His voice quivered as he muttered, "No, it wasn't my fault." Tongue slipped. I couldn't save him in time. But in the mirror, his reflection stared back, and behind him, faintly, was the shadow of a drenched figure. Hair hanging wet, eyes rolled white. He spun around. The room was empty. Dash dash dash. Dash dash dash. Years passed. Asterisk. Min's shop prospered. He bought a comfortable house near the town center and remarried. His new wife was gentle and capable, bringing back the sense of family he had long lost. In the new home, children's laughter filled the air. Min's son, little Nam, was now 8, quick and bright. Watching his boy smile, Min sometimes felt as if his past had been washed away. One afternoon, his wife called. "And Min, Nam has been talking to himself out in the yard. Go check on him." Min stepped outside. The boy was squatting by the shallow well, chattering as if someone sat opposite him. "Who are you? Why are you so wet? Are you cold, mister?" At those words, Min froze. His blood felt like it had turned to ice. He rushed forward and pulled his son to his feet. "Nam, who are you talking to?" The child looked puzzled and pointed to empty air. "Uncle Tung. He said he's cold. He said Dad's bad, left him in the lake." Goosebumps rose over Min's whole body. He gripped his son's shoulders, trembling. "Don't say nonsense, son. There's nobody here." Nam wrenched free, eyes wide and innocent. "No, I do. I saw him standing right there. He said he'll take you away." That night, Min lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling. His wife leaned over and whispered, "What's wrong with you? You've seemed so distracted these days." He hid it and forced a smile. "I'm fine, just tired from work." But after his wife fell into a deep sleep, he heard wet footsteps padding through the living room. Damp prints streaked across the tile, leading straight toward the bedroom. He listened, breath held. From the darkness at the end of the hall, a scattered whisper came through. "It's so cold here." Min's heart hammered. He pulled the covers over his head, sweat soaking his shirt. Still, the whisper crept into his ears, each word heavy and slow. The next morning, Min went to see Mrs. Han, the old woman by the lake known for telling ghost stories. He bowed his head, voice urgent. "Aunt Han, something strange is happening. Is my house haunted? Is it really a restless spirit?" She squinted at him, then shook her head with a long sigh. "I told you, Lake Cam Tui doesn't spare the greedy. Souls of those who died unjustly are trapped. They come back to collect what's owed. If it's Tung, then it will be hard to escape." Min paled, trembling, mumbling, "No, it can't be. Tung slipped, it wasn't my fault." Mrs. Han's voice rang like a final decree in his ear. "This lake does not forget. Child, the time to pay has come." Dash dash dash. That night, the town lay silent. Only insects whispered in the yard. Min sat dazed at his desk, the yellow lamp casting a tired shadow across the wall. On the table sat a single gold coin left from the box, a keepsake he'd kept. It gleamed, but to Min that light looked no different from fresh blood spreading red. He reached out and touched it, freezing cold. Suddenly, from the bathroom came a soft tick, 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 like a leaky faucet. He frowned and went to check. When he turned the valve, everything was dry. So where was that sound coming from? He swallowed hard and spun around. The mirror on the wall reflected his hollow face, eyes sunken, but behind him in the glass, a shadowy figure stood, hair soaked, face chalk pale, eyes wide and unblinking. He jumped and whipped around. The room was empty. His heart pounded, limbs shaking. He stammered, "No, this can't be. I must be dreaming." Night after night, the strange occurrences multiplied. In the bedroom, wet footsteps dragged down the hall. In the kitchen, the faucet would suddenly run, the air stinging with the smell of mud. Once, while curled under the covers, Min felt the blanket grow sodden. He bolted upright and saw the figure sitting at the foot of the bed. Hair dripping, voice broken. "It's so cold here." Min screamed and fled the room. His wife and child woke in a panic and peppered him with questions. He trembled and sweat poured down his back, only able to shake his head. The next morning while washing his face, He saw the dark circles under his eyes, his skin pale, but the mirror showed another face pressed close beside his, cold and terrifying. The lips moved. "Min, why did you leave me?" The mirror cracked with a sharp sound. Min howled and hurled it to the floor. The glass shattered into 1,000 glittering shards like a field of staring eyes. He collapsed to the floor, clutching his head and screaming, "Spare me, I didn't mean to. I didn't want this to happen." But from the dark corner came the same whisper, cold as the lake wind at night, "I will take you with me." In the days that followed, Min lived in an unending nightmare. Each night he dreamed of tongue, white-eyed, hair hanging in wet strands, raising a hand and calling his name. By day, even glancing into a basin of water would show his friend's face rising up, purple. Furious, Min's body wasted away, his eyes hollowed, his mind drifting between clarity and delirium. His wife, worried, asked, "And Min, what's wrong with you lately? Maybe we should go to the hospital." He shook his head weakly, voice hoarse. "It's not a sickness, it's following me, it wants to take me." That night, unable to bear it any longer, Min packed a few things and trudged to the neighboring village to find a well-known shaman. The shaman's house sat deep inside a stand of bamboo. Incense smoked thick in the air. The old man was thin, his eyes sharp. He studied Min for a long moment before asking slowly, "You've come to me because something is following you, right?" Hearing that, Min fell to his knees, trembling. "Master, please save me. I left my friend in the lake, now his spirit haunts me. Day and night it won't let me be." The shaman lit an incense stick and prayed, then closed his eyes. After a while he opened them and spoke heavily. "The anger is powerful. That soul has not moved on. It does not want anything but to pull you down with it into the lake." Min broke out in a cold sweat, his chest felt squeezed. He stammered, "Please, sir, is there any way to save me?" The shaman considered, then replied, "It won't be easy, but there is a path. You must return to that exact spot. Prepare offerings, light incense and lamps, and perform a ritual asking for forgiveness. If you are sincere, perhaps the spirit will relent." Fear seized Min and he covered his face with his hands. I can't go back to the lake. If I go there, it will kill me." The shaman looked straight into his eyes, stern. "If you don't go back, you won't live either. That spirit will cling to you until the day you die." The shaman's words cut deep into Min's heart. On the way home he stumbled, tongues groaning, still whispering in the wind. "Min, I'm so cold." He shuddered, his steps heavy as if stuck in mud, knowing in his bones that the day he must return to the lake was drawing near. That night, Min sat huddled in his spacious yet chilling house. The lights were on, but every corner seemed steeped in shadow, as if someone were standing there. Now and then, the drip of water echoed from the kitchen, making him flinch over and over. He remembered the shaman's words. Before darkness fell completely, Min forced himself to the market, buying a chicken, wine, incense, candles, and sheets of paper money. The vendor eyed him and shook her head softly. "Mr. Min, why buy so much? They say a storm's coming tonight. Don't go out on the lake, it's dangerous." Min forced a twisted smile, voice hoarse. I have something I must do. Don't worry about it." When he was done, he tied the offerings onto a small boat. The sky had turned pitch black, thick with clouds. Thunder cracked. The wind howled through the lakeside trees like wailing voices. Waves stirred, lightning flashing across the surface, making it look like countless hands reaching up. Shaking, Min lit 3 sticks of incense. The gale bent the smoke sideways, stinging his eyes. He muttered, voice quivering, "Tongue, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me, don't follow me anymore." Suddenly thunder rolled, and the lake churned violently. Panicked, Min rowed farther out, to the very spot where the wooden box had once surfaced. The water here was pitch dark, swirling like a gaping hole. He laid out the offerings, chicken and wine, on a bamboo tray, his hands trembling uncontrollably. As he prayed, a chill swept over him, raising gooseflesh along his arms. The incense smoke refused to rise, circling his head instead. In the flashes of lightning, Min saw it clearly. A figure standing motionless on the water. Only a few yards from the boat. Hair hung over its face. Clothes dripping wet. Eyes rolled white, staring straight at him. A whisper drifted across the waves. Min, why did you leave me? It's so cold. Here. Sweat poured down Min's face as the burning incense slipped from his fingers into the water. He screamed, Tung, forgive me? I was wrong, don't drag me away. But the figure stood firm, edging closer. The lake rose higher, waves slamming the hull, rocking the boat so violently it nearly overturned. Thunder cracked and lightning flashed. The lake glaring bright then plunging back into black. The figure on the water drifted closer and closer. Min panicked, collapsing to his knees at the boat's gunwale, crying in despair. Tung, I beg you, forgive me? I was wrong, I know my fault. Suddenly the lake felt deathly still. The wind stopped, only Min's heart pounded in his chest. Thinking it safe, he hurried to gather his incense and offerings. At that moment, a cold hand shot up from the depths and clamped around his ankle. The force knocked Min forward. He tumbled, plunging toward the water. He flailed and screamed, God, help me, save me. The boat lurched wildly as waves slapped over the side. In a flash of lightning, Min saw Tung's face right beside him, skin chalk pale. Eyes gone entirely white, mouth foaming with foul water. Come down, come with me. Min convulsed, clawing at the gunwale until his nails ripped the wood. But the hand below kept pulling him under. With a great crash the boat capsized. The offerings scattered and floated away. Min was dragged deep into the lake. Ice-cold water filled his nose and mouth. He swallowed it all. Vision swimming. In the murk, Tung's pale figure loomed inches from him, arms outstretched to seize his throat, whispering with a voice that chilled him to the bone. It's peaceful here, be with me. Min thrashed in desperate, choking pleas. No, spare me, I beg you. But the more he fought, the deeper he sank. The darkness beneath the lake opened like a giant mouth and swallowed him whole, burying him toward the bottom. The next morning, villagers along the shore found Min unconscious on the bank, drenched and deathly pale. He was alive, but his eyes were vacant and he kept muttering, Tung, forgive me, forgive me. From that day on, Min lost all his wealth and his mind. He wandered the lakeshore daily mumbling apologies. People said that on windy nights you could still see a man staring blankly at the water, with a cold whisper beside him. Min, I'm so cold. After that night the boat capsized. Min returned home a broken, confused shell. They say when he first woke he wouldn't eat or speak, only sat clutching his head, murmuring, Tung, I'm sorry, forgive me, don't drag me away. Frightened, his wife called a doctor and took him to the clinic. The doctor found nothing physically wrong and could only shake his head. His body seems fine, but his mind is shattered, likely a trauma, hard to treat. Soon after, his wife took the child back to her parents' house. The construction supply store closed. Min could no longer manage the business. New debts piled up. House and possessions were sold off. From a wealthy man he became a beggar. Roaming the town, people pitied him rarely, most were afraid. Passers-by heard him whispering constantly, Forgive me, Tung, I know I was wrong. On some nights people saw him standing by the lake, staring hard at the water, then bursting into a hollow, eerie laughter that sent shivers down the spine. An old woman at the market shook her head. Poor Min, all that greed, and now his friend's ghost comes to collect. The rumors spread fast. Children and adults alike avoided the place. They told how, on bright moonlit nights when Min sat alone by the shore, another figure always stood beside him, hair soaked, silent, never speaking, only watching the water. One rainy night, someone passing the lakeside heard Min's screams tearing through the neighborhood. Tung, please, don't drag me, spare me. The cries and sobs cut off suddenly. When neighbors rushed out, they found Min curled under a tree, pale and trembling, his hands clawing at the earth like someone trying to keep from being pulled away. He looked up with bloodshot eyes and whispered, He's here, right behind me. He hasn't gone anywhere. One chilly afternoon, Mrs. Han, the 60-year-old woman who had lived by the lake all her life, passed by and found Min sitting, smeared with dirt, beneath the banyan tree. He was gaunt, hair in disarray, eyes fixed, staring at the water. Mrs. Han came close and laid a hand on his shoulder. Min, you're back here again, eh? Min startled and turned, voice trembling. Aunt Han, he stands out there, watching me. He says he's so cold. She sighed, sadness in her eyes. I told you, this lake is no ordinary place. Those who carry heavy karma, who abandon friends and leave others to die unjustly, their spirits linger and don't find peace. Min clutched his head, tears streaming. I know I'm wrong, but he won't forgive. Every night he calls my name. Mrs. Han sat beside him and spoke in a low, steady voice. Long ago, this lake used to be a wide plain. One year the flood came and swept many away, homes destroyed, people lost, those who drowned and whose bodies were never found left behind deep resentment. Since then, people avoid the lake at night. She looked at Min, each word deliberate and cutting. There's one thing few know, a wronged spirit often seeks someone it once knew to take vengeance. If family or friends abandoned them, the spirit will drag that person down with it, no matter what. At that, Min trembled and gripped her hand. Please, help me, I'm so afraid, I don't want to die. Mrs. Han pulled her hand back, her gaze gone cold. I'm old, there's little I can do now. It's between you and it, you must face it yourself. If you come with a true, repentant heart, maybe you'll be spared. Running won't save you. A cold wind slid through the bamboo, the leaves whispering like moans. Min slumped down, murmuring, spare me, tongue, please spare me. Mrs. Han hobbled away with her cane, her small figure fading into the late light. That night, Min dragged himself back to his old boarding room by the market. Rain fell in a fine, steady drizzle. The drops pattered on the tin roof like hundreds of footsteps pacing around. He closed the door and curled up in a corner. The oil lamp guttered, and the darkness seemed thick enough to swallow him. Exhausted, he dozed off, then jolted awake at the sound of a child giggling in the room. He looked up. On the rickety bed sat the silhouette of a small child with his back turned, hair dripping onto the mat. Min gasped and called out, trembling, Nam, are you back here? The child turned. It was not his son's bright face but a twisted, chalk-pale mask with hollow eyes. It opened its mouth in a whisper that mixed with the soft drip of water. Daddy, come down and play with Uncle Tongue, it's fun down there. Min screamed and lunged to grab his boy, but his hands met only empty air. The room chilled to the bone, the rain hammered the roof outside. He clutched his head, gasping, tears running. God, spare my son, if you want something. Take me, don't hurt him. At that instant, a flash of lightning lit the dark corner. In that brief blaze Min clearly saw Tongue standing near the door, water dripping to the floor. His white, unseeing eyes stared straight at Min, his lips moved. You can't run? The light went out, the room fell into darkness. Min curled inward, whispering again and again, spare me, spare me. Outside, the rain grew heavier and the wind screamed through the cracks like a cold, mocking laugh that followed every breath Min took. Asterisk, after that night, Min no longer dared stay inside his house. Every evening when darkness fell, he would tremble, eyes darting in every direction. Neighbors used to see him clutching a ragged bag, wandering from one end of the village to the market, muttering as he walked, spare me, Tongue, don't follow me anymore. Once, some kids ran after him teasingly and called out, Uncle Min, who are you talking to? Min spun around, eyes bloodshot, and shouted, shut up, he's standing right behind you. The children screamed and scattered. The adults muttered among themselves. Seems Min's lost his mind. But weird, when anyone walks behind him, they say it gives them the creeps. Like someone's watching. Night fell and the village lanes emptied. Under the pale moonlight, Min's crooked shadow stretched long on the ground. Strangely, sometimes people would see another shadow behind him, small, sodden, clinging to his heels. An elderly neighbor recounted, voice trembling. I saw it myself. Min walked past and his shadow stretched. Right behind him was another shadow, hair hanging down. Standing still, I kept chanting Buddha's name and ran home with my eyes shut. Min couldn't tell reality from anything anymore. He'd slump beside the road, grinning foolishly, then suddenly lurch up and shout, "I won't follow you, don't drag me down anymore." The night wind cut cold, bamboo leaves whispering like stealthy footsteps. Min, in the dark, kept talking to the invisible presence at his side. On the full moon night, the town's night market buzzed, oil lamps and electric lights flickering. Buyers and sellers noisy around the lake. Suddenly a disoriented figure staggered into view from the distance. Clothes caked in mud. It was Min. He screamed, eyes wild, running and shouting, Don't follow me anymore. I beg you, spare me." The crowd stirred. Many jumped back in alarm. Min barreled into the middle of the market, pointing at empty air right in front of him. Voice breaking, "What are you doing standing there? Go away. I'm begging you." Tongue. People followed his finger but saw only a cold void, yet everyone got chills for some reason. Someone whispered, "Good heavens, who is he talking to? Why does his face look so pale?" A fish vendor hurriedly packed up her basket. Panicked. "Enough, everyone, let's close up." Some spirits attached to Min. As the crowd broke up, Min stayed kneeling in the square, banging his head on the ground and wailing, "Tongue, don't take me. I'm terrified. I know I was wrong." Amid the cries, some swore they heard another voice mixed in, hoarse and wet, as if coming from the water itself. "It's so cold here, come down with me." That whisper was faint but horrifying enough to scare everyone away. People hurried home without looking back. Min finally collapsed in the market, shaking violently. Even then he kept repeating one strangled plea. "Spare me, tongue, spare me?" Since the night of the market chaos, Min's name became nothing more than a whisper across town. On the streets, people would mutter to each other, "See that? He's not even human anymore. Yeah, his friend's spirit came back for him. Get close and you'll be cursed too." From then on, whenever Min wandered near the market entrance or someone's front gate, doors slammed shut. Some even shouted, "Get out of here. Don't come near this house." Min drifted alone, starving, surviving on scraps of bread and sips of rainwater. At night he crawled back to the lake, curling up beneath the banyan tree, staring wide-eyed at the pitch-black surface. In the silence, the familiar voice whispered again, sliding cold straight into his ear. "Min, come down here?" He clutched his head, screaming, his voice echoing across the water. "Spare me, I don't want to go down there." The lake rippled suddenly, waves slapping against the shore. A shadowy figure surfaced, long hair streaming, eyes pure white. Min burst into sobs, collapsing to his knees, hands trembling as he pleaded, "Tongue, I beg you, I'm on my knees, please forgive me." But the figure said nothing, just drifted in silence before sinking back beneath the water as if it had never been there. The town grew used to it. Anyone passing by the lake at night would hear Min's wails, followed by sobs like a child's. People became so terrified that at the first sound of his cries, they bolted their doors tight. And Min, trapped in the choking dark, knew one truth. Tongue would never stop, until he dragged him down as well. After countless nights haunted, Min's body wasted away to skin and bones. To the villagers, he looked like a ghost walking, shunned and abandoned. He finally staggered to the shaman in the neighboring village, the same man who once told him to return to the lake and make amends. He shuffled down the red dirt road, bare feet cracked, eyes hollow with sleeplessness. At the gate, half closed, incense smoke drifted thick into the night. Min knocked weakly, voice trembling, "Master, save me, I can't endure anymore." The door creaked open. The old man looked at him and sighed heavily. "I told you before, your karma is too heavy. You were greedy, you betrayed, now your friend's soul comes for you. I can't save you." Min collapsed to his knees, forehead pressed against the cold ground. "Please, Master, I know I was wrong. I'll perform any ritual, give up my very life, as long as he lets me go." The shaman lit another stick of incense, sat in silence for a long while, then spoke slowly. His spirit doesn't just want to frighten you anymore, it wants to drag you to the bottom of the lake. There is only one way left, you must return there yourself. Beg for forgiveness, but remember, once the lake chooses someone, escape is near impossible. At those words, Min broke into cold sweat, stammering, I have to go back to the lake, one more time? The wind outside howled through the cracks, making the oil lamp flicker violently. For a brief moment, Min swore he heard faint laughter echoing from the darkness, slicing into his spine. That's right, come down. I'm waiting. Min clutched his chest, fingernails digging into the floor. In his eyes, there was only one path left, to return to where it had all begun. Dusk fell. Heavy black clouds piling up. Wind rushed through the bamboo grove, its howl like a cry. Min packed a few incense sticks and paper money, then walked alone toward the lake. Rain began to fall in a fine drizzle. The ground slick, but he didn't stop. When he reached the shore, the water had risen and the waves lapped loudly. Min trembled as he lit incense and stuck them into the wet earth. Smoke from the sticks blurred in the rain like invisible hands beckoning. He murmured in a hoarse voice, Tongue, I'm back. I beg you, spare me. I've paid it all, don't take me. The waves suddenly hammered harder, splash after splash, as if someone were throwing stones into the lake. Min hunched over and hurried to burn the joss paper. Flames caught the wet paper with a sizzling hiss, flared red, then died out, blowing ash back into his face. Through the rain came a whisper. Min, I'm right here. He startled, eyes darting. A dim figure appeared on the lake, hair hanging over its face. A water-soaked white shirt. The shape drifted slowly closer as the water rolled in rains. Min stepped back, shaking. Tongue, I beg you, please spare me, don't pull me. A thin, mocking laugh rolled across the storm and mixed with the drum of rain. Too late, you must pay. A pale hand rose from the water and reached toward him. Min screamed, threw down his offerings, and stumbled backward. The wet ground betrayed him. He slipped, tore open his knee, and blood slicked into the rainwater. The pale figure drifted on, eyes milky and fixed. Min fell to his knees, rain and tears mingling on his face, and wailed into the night. Spare me, just once. Spare me. The waves grew frantic. The lake seemed to boil. Thunder cracked across the sky, lighting the ghostly form standing tall in the water. The rain intensified and the surface roiled. Min, trembling, gathered the last handful of cooling ash and scattered it into the water. Tongue, I've given it back. I offered for you, please go. But at that instant the lake gurgled and a white figure suddenly rose up. Sliding close to the bank, the face showed clearly now, blank white eyes, a wide, gaping mouth, dark water pouring out. The whisper rang in his ear, cold and accusing. You left me, how can I let you go now? Min panicked and crawled backward, scrabbling at the mud. The earth was slick, his hands couldn't find purchase. Then a cold, soaking hand burst up from the water and seized his ankle. Ah, help me, somebody help! Min screamed, flailing like a man gone mad, his nails ripping flesh. The hand pulled hard and he pitched forward toward the lake. Water forced into his nose and mouth, his scream choked off, replaced by bubbles at the surface. In flashes of lightning people could see him being dragged down, thrashing in the waves. And then, just like that, the lake was calm again. As if nothing had happened. Only a stub of burnt incense lay out, cold and spent, ash scattered on the shore, and the rain fell on, a soft, steady sound, like a faint chuckle in the dark. It's done. At first light. The road to the lake was still soggy from the night's rain. Fishermen preparing to push their boats out suddenly heard someone shout, Hey, come look at this. Something awful. They rushed over. Right at the water's edge lay a body sprawled out, drenched head to toe. It was Min. His face was ashen, lips purple, eyes still wide open in a frozen stare. His hands were clenched as if clawing at the ground, but no breath stirred. An old man knelt, placed a trembling hand near Min's nose. then recoiled. He's gone, cold as ice. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Whispers passing from one to another. See? I told you, his friend's ghost dragged him away. It's karma, live cruel. Die cruel. Old Madame Han hobbled forward on her cane, gazed long at the corpse, then shook her head, voice heavy. I warned you, this lake spares no one. Blood debt must be paid in blood. They moved to carry Min's body back, but recoiled in horror. The moment hands touched his skin, foul black water seeped out, reeking like swamp mud. Faces blanched. A woman shrieked, "Don't touch him. Leave him there, or we'll bring ruin on ourselves." No one dared come closer. They stood at a distance, staring. In the dim morning light, a cold wind swept off the lake, making everyone shiver. Then, suddenly, gurgling rose from the water, as if someone had just dived under. All eyes locked on the surface. Ripples widened, stretched, and faded. No one spoke another word. After Min's body was dragged ashore and hastily buried, the whole town sank into dread. People whispered in fear, "If his spirit isn't at peace, won't it haunt us too?" "We must make offerings, beg the lake to forgive." So a great ritual was arranged at the lakeside. Villagers brought rice, money, chickens, pigs, piling the altar high with food and offerings. Incense smoke coiled thick, blending with the damp breath of the lake, raising goosebumps on every arm. The shaman sat at the center, ringing his bell, chanting low. The wooden fish drum beat steadily. Talk, talk, talk. Villagers crowded around in silence, only the wind's howl and the slap of waves breaking the hush. Suddenly the incense sticks flared wildly, flames shooting higher than they should. The crowd panicked, muttering in terror, "Dear God, the angry spirit has come for the offerings." The shaman barked, voice sharp and urgent, "Silence, don't move, you'll provoke the wrath." At that instant, a violent gust tore through, toppling the altar. Chickens and pigs splashed into the lake. The waters roared as though a giant hand churned from the depths. Screams erupted. Villagers scattered in chaos. An old woman stumbled near the shore, shrieking, "Help me, pull me up." Young men lunged to grab her, but at the same moment, a pale hand thrust up from the water, seizing her coat hem. Her scream ripped the night apart. "Let go! God help me!" The boys pulled hard, but the grip from below was monstrous. For one sickening moment, everyone saw it clearly. The hand was thin, icy, lifeless. It looked exactly like Min's. With a final heave, they dragged the old woman back to shore. Unconscious, on her coat, deep purple handprints remained, seared into the fabric. The shaman's voice quavered as he spoke. "The lake is not appeased, the lake demands another soul." The villagers clutched each other, shivering, eyes fixed on the churning water. And they all knew, this wasn't over. After the chaotic ritual. The entire town sank into a heavy, gloomy silence. From then on, no one dared to set foot near the forbidden waters of Cam Tui Lake. The story of Min was told and retold, etched deep into memory like a warning carved in stone. Every full moon night, when the silver disk hung high, the lake lay eerily still. Villagers swore they could hear a sorrowful voice drifting across the water. "Min, why did you abandon me?" Some reckless soul once rowed a boat into the center of the lake at midnight. By morning, the boat had drifted back to shore, empty. The townsfolk only whispered, "The lake claimed him, the lake took another." Old Madame Han, sitting on her porch, often warned the children, "Never go to the lake at night. There are restless spirits down there. Cold hands waiting to seize you. Greed, betrayal, the lake forgives none." A small shrine was built by the shore. On the 1st and 15th days of the lunar month, incense smoke curled upward. People believed it was the only way to keep the waters calm, to keep pale hands from dragging more victims down. Yet sometimes, on stormy nights, travelers swore they saw a gaunt man, clothes drenched, shuffling along the lakeside, mumbling under his breath, "Tongue, forgive me?" It was Min, or perhaps only his shadow, forever bound to the place of his sin. From then on, Cam Tui Lake bore a legend. People reminded one another in trembling tones. Do not be greedy. Do not betray those who forsake their friends. Their loyalty will pay the price beneath the lake. And the tale of men, of Tung's ghost, still lingers, haunting, chilling, like a whisper rising from the depths. It's cold down here. The story ends here. Thank you for listening until the very end. If you enjoyed it, please give a like and subscribe. Your support is the greatest encouragement for us to bring more chilling stories to life. If you have any questions or notice any mistakes, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. And *bong toid trong dem *, we'll see you again in our next tale. *, all content in this video is a work of fiction, created solely for entertainment purposes. Any resemblance to real events or individuals is purely coincidental. Bong toid trong dem * does not encourage or promote superstition or occult practices. Please enjoy with the spirit of storytelling.